So I do know that I have a viewer who's very sensitive to like gory things, but also ambiguous things, such as like body bags. And so they're in this piece. So if this might not be the video for you, otherwise enjoy. Today is the 29th. We are getting, this is blue. We are getting quite far already in the month. Is this also blue? Do I only have blue pens? I don't want to do this piece in blue. No, that's also a blue pen. Oh no! I don't think this one is the one that's dead. Oh shoot, if only I had thought ahead. So today's is Skellington, as I said. Skeleton. And oh, is it the dead one? And I actually, didn't know what to do with this piece. I thought that word just didn't pop anything into my head right away. Normally when I do prompts, I just wait until I get inspired by something, and then I'm like, oh, that works perfect, I'll do that. But it wasn't really like that this time. I kind of had to go and search around for what the prompt meant. Does that make sense? Does any of this make sense? And so I did that. I looked around, and I just looked up Skellington. I just put it in on Google, and it was like, here's some pictures of skeletons. And I was like, okay, but not really getting into an inspiration from that. I gotta remember which one of these are dark. This one's dark. This one. Oh, I'm off. Wait, this one. Yeah, I'm off. No, I'm not off. Wait, yeah, I am off. Wait, I did something wrong. Oh no, already? Oh, this one. Here. Okay. But yeah, nothing was really catching my eye, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I was just playing around, and this popped into my mind, and I was like, oh, okay, let's do that. So, it started with just being the spider, and I was like, no, it's gotta be creepy. It's gotta be, like, Halloween-y. Does that make sense? And so I was like, there's gotta be something else going on. It can't just be this spider here, you know? And I was like, ooh, what do spiders do? They wrap things up in, like, their web. And I was like, perfect. So that's what I decided. It's gonna be this spider with a few pieces of dinner. If that was dark. If I may say so. And so I'm actually really liking the way the sketch looks, and so I hope I don't mess it up when it comes to actually doing anything. Yeah, that's the actual one. Because I tend to do that. I tend to like, oh, I really like the way this looks, and then I just destroy it, and I get really upset once I do that, because obviously I don't mean to. Okay, I'm rambling and I'm being boring. It's not what I want. Ooh, no, it's not what I want. Sorry, I had a thought, and then I was like, no, I'm not going with it. Oh, maybe the Sharpie will work for a little more. Today's just been one of those days that's like I don't know, I was feeling very inspired this morning to like do a whole bunch of work and stuff. And it was very good and productive, and now I'm just like, go home and whoop this in the butt and have a nice day, you know? I cannot wait for daylight savings time. Oh, for people not in America, we have daylight savings time. And it's kind of a weird concept unless you live here, but twice a year we move the time on our clocks to be different. So once in the spring we move it an hour backwards. So instead of getting up at 5:30, you get up at 4:30, but you change your clock so that's 5:30. Does that make sense? Does any of what I'm saying make sense? And then in the fall, we do the opposite. So you wake up at 5:30, but your clock says 6:30. Does that make any sense? I don't know. So you get like an extra hour of sleep in the fall. And I'm like dying for it because the sun has been setting so early, and like I tend to get really tired after the sun goes down, so I've been getting tired at like 7. And needless to say, it's not a very productive day when you go to bed at 7. I actually go to bed really early. Earlier than a lot of people. I tend to go to bed at 8:30 because I wake up at 7, and so I get a lot of sleep, and it's very good for my mental health. It turns out. So I do that. There is a spider that's been outside my window for a while, and I've never seen one like him before where I live. He is, he has, how do I describe him? Is he white with black dots or black with white dots? He's one or the other. And I've just never seen one like him before. He lives outside my window. My mom actually knocked down his web because I had a nightmare about him. And he just rebuilt it in like 5 seconds. She was like, hey, I knocked down that web near your bedroom window. And I was like, what? No, you didn't. And she's like, yeah, I did. And I was like, the one in my bedroom? Like, not in the bathroom or anything? She's like, the one in your bedroom. And I sent her a picture because he had already rebuilt it. And she was like, holy crap, he moves fast. And I was shocked, to say the least, by that. This is blue. Oh, no. Oh, well, maybe the blood areas can be outlined in blue for contrast or something. It's totally meant to be like that. Oh, no. I don't have anything against blue ink. It's just, I think this piece would be creepier with just black ink, you know? I'm gonna go find some other pens, but I will be back. I found another pen. It has a logo on it, but totally not sponsored, so if you couldn't tell that. This is a nice writing pen, though. See, it's a good thing I did my disclaimer. This is a black pen, right? Okay. These pens are gonna get on my nerves if I keep hitting them every time I draw anything. Sorry about the clock. We do have a grandfather clock on the first floor. And it makes a really, really cool sound, if I do say so myself, when you go to wind it. Makes like a tick, 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 tick. I don't know how to explain it, but it's really cool, I think. But yeah, so I can't wait for daylight savings time. That's gonna be pretty great. Not just because we gain an hour's sleep, but because I'm gonna have to turn this the whole time. I'm really sorry. I know that's disorienting. I try really hard not to do that. But so then we're gonna get some hours back in our day. And here's a little bit of American History 101 for anyone. Oh dear, that was bad. For anyone who probably doesn't care but is stuck listening to it anyway. Daylight saving time used to be a really big thing because farmers need a lot of time of daylight to go out on the field and harvest. And when the sun goes down really early and like comes up really early, there's something with like people would come to work on the farms at a certain time, but then they wouldn't get as long to work on the farm because the sun would go down quicker because they woke up later. Does that make sense? So America was like, okay, we'll just move our clocks so that everyone will get up like closer to when the sun comes up and goes to bed closer to when the sun goes down, you know? And that's what we did. We were like, yeehaw, Pop, let's do that. And so that's what we did. Is there a way I can make this look like more like webby? Maybe having it, not be so uniform. Ooh, yeah, something like that. Does that look good at all? But yeah, so there's some American history for you. I guess it's not American history as much as it's like American trivia, maybe. I'm working on that page. That's another Inktober, I think. I'm working on in the back of the sketchbook. I'm actually really close to being done with this sketchbook because I kind of wanted it to be over as soon as I finished Inktober, and we're getting real close to the end of Inktober, so I'm getting quite close to the end of the sketchbook. Though I do like to like completely fill my sketchbooks, and I quite have a little bit of unused space in this one yet, so I gotta see what I want to do about that. Just reminds me of like the scene in the Lord of the Rings when Frodo has to. It's a nerd thing. Oh, there's my trusty highlighter. I got it. Let's make this guy a little bloody, shall we? Nothing says I'm a fearsome spider like I'm covered in blood. I'm still not any good at blood spatters, but you know what's weird is that this is actually one of those scented markers, so every time I draw with it, I'm like, oh, blood, and then it like smells like cherries. Put some more blood places. I don't know, I feel like I'm not really good at drawing blood, so I like to, but I'm not as good as I'd like to be, so it's kind of conflicting. That aside, I hope you all enjoyed this one. I think it turned out really cool. And so I will see you all tomorrow, and I hope you all have a good night. If you're an American, remember to set back your clocks on the 4th. Have a good night.